Hey, welcome to Momentarily Speaking with me, Isha Anavaz. On this channel, we're going to focus on self care, nutrition, and mindset growth. We will feel well, move well, and live well on this channel. Let's build a stronger, more intentional us, one moment at a time. Thank you for watching. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. My name is Isha Anabaz, and this channel is Momentarily Speaking, where we talk about being a health advocate and to really look forward to our future with our kids, our grandkids, as far as we can go, and live a fuller life. Hey, today I'm going to get personal with you. I discovered this week I have high cholesterol. And so I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk in this video about my story, my decision not to take a statin, and how I determined this would be the best option for me. I also want to share with you my health labs and my numbers so that we can go through them together. If you're interested in practicing becoming a health advocate, my intention is to provide you with a walkthrough and research that may help you in your own health journey. All right. I'll be looking at my notes today because I want to make sure that I cover everything. I didn't realize until this past 48 hours how complex cholesterol really is. I mean, I was watching different doctors talk about cholesterol, and I read a couple of journals and a couple of things that really opened my eyes to the understanding that it's not just looking at, good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. There's so much involved, and we're going to talk about that today. Before I go any further, I do want to tell you that I'm sharing my story and the questions that I asked. I am not a medical practitioner, and this is not medical advice. It's simply my experience and what I've been learning along the way. And as always, I believe in practicing caution as a health advocate, but also working closely with your health practitioner. Okay, so let's dive in. All right. So before I discuss my test results, I had previously received my results from the Quest Health Lab app. And so I went in there and I could see my numbers. And right before I went to the doctor, like I already knew what questions I wanted to ask. Every time I go to the doctor, I have questions and I expect answers based on their expertise. And if they don't give me the answers that I'm looking for or a clear answer because they're in a hurry or whatever the case, mm, you know, that's a red flag, because a doctor can really should know enough to be able to let you understand it in our terms. So my questions were the following: what is my actual cardiovascular risk, not just my cholesterol number? And this right here is very important because for a very long time, we've looked at cholesterol, especially the total cholesterol, as the number. That's the it number. Well, guess what I found this week? That's not the it number. There's so much more involved in the total cholesterol number that I want to share with you today, and I'm going to link the doctors below that explain it very well, that helped me. I'm ESL, you guys. English is my second language, and let me tell you, I was able to understand it pretty well. So, so yeah. But cholesterol alone doesn't tell the whole story. Asking this pushes your doctor to look at the bigger picture: your age, your blood pressure, your inflammation markers, your family history, what current medications are you taking, your metabolic health, if you have had lifestyle changes. It helps you understand whether the medication is truly necessary or if the lifestyle changes might be enough, okay? The second question is, are there any lifestyle or non-statin options I can try first, and how long can we monitor before deciding? So this opens the door for you and your doctor to talk about nutrition changes, movement, weight management, sleep, stress, supplements, if appropriate for you. It also sets a timeline for how long do you have to make a decision before you start a medication. Um, and lastly, I asked, what side effects should I personally be aware of, and how will we monitor them? Okay. Everyone's risk profile is very different, but this question is going to help you understand. For statin, right? I kept hearing about muscle soreness, liver enzyme changes, insulin resistance, cognitive concerns being studied, how often labs will be checked, what symptoms to watch for. It turns the conversation into a partnership rather than a prescription. And for me, at the end of my conversation with my doctor, I'll be honest with you, I felt like I needed to research a little bit more before I could even make a decision of what I'm going to do next. Okay. But how did I determine that taking a statin is not for me at this moment? This is where I began to dig deeper. Why am I not taking a statin? So I want to share with you my cholesterol numbers and how I came to the decision. The first thing I did was dive into what really is the definition of cholesterol and what is it actually. I also listened to doctors who helped connect the dots for me around this complex and often misunderstood diagnosis. I'll share their links below in case you ever find yourself, needing this information as well. At the end of the day, we may not be doctors, but we do live in these bodies, and understanding all of our options is crucial for long term health. That's for sure. So here's my cholesterol numbers. So my total cholesterol is 242. My HDL, which is high density lipoprotein, is the good cholesterol, according to medical experts, is 53. My triglycerides are 114. And my low density lipoprotein, which is the bad cholesterol, LDL, is 166. Okay, so when doctors look at cholesterol, HDL is considered the good guy because it helps remove excess cholesterol and carries it to the liver for full removal, right? The LDL is known as the bad guy, but it's not necessarily all bad. Like, it's the LDL actually delivers cholesterol to cells for important jobs like building cell membranes and making hormones. And you know, you cannot live without a heart and you cannot live without cholesterol, by the way. Okay. Um, but when LDL is too high, it can start to build plaque around the arteries, and that's the part where it becomes bad. Okay. So if you look at my numbers, my LDL is at 166. So remember that. That buildup is called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. I may not be saying it correctly, but that I'll put it down in here so you can know what it is. And it increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Understanding this helped me make sense of the overall numbers that I'm looking at and help me understand what that means for my body. Okay. In addition to all of this, I also discovered that I have a genetic condition that keeps my LP little a, which is lipoprotein little a, high. And here's the simplest way to understand LP little a, okay? It's basically a special version of LDL cholesterol that your body makes because of your genetics. Lifestyle doesn't usually change it much. And most people don't even know they have it unless they get a specific test. So I got that specific test because while I was researching, I found out about LP little a. And I'll pause right here of why I made the decision to get this test done. So, on my mom's side of the family, they suffer from heart disease. And my mom is 72 years old. Her older brother passed away in at 48. I'm 47. I'm going to be 48 this year. And her younger sister passed away in her late 60s. And both of them passed away from heart disease. So, you can imagine how important these numbers are to me, especially finding that there's a genetic factor, LP little a, that increases the risk of plaque buildup on the arteries. And that's important for me. And now you may be wondering, well, why are you not choosing a statin? Okay, I'm getting there. Okay. So bear with me. All right. Bear with me. It helped me understand just how important it is for me to take care of the lifestyle factors that can influence my overall cholesterol picture. Then I took into consideration, because this is important, okay, and you'll see my numbers right now. The hemoglobin AC1, mine is at 5.5, and my insulin is at 14.7. Okay. So that gave me an understanding of, okay, let's dig even a little deeper. And that's when I discovered a video, which I will link below, from Dr. Robert Lustig on the Levels channel. And honestly, it was a life-changing video. In this video, he explains very clearly what cholesterol means, what your levels of cholesterol is. And I really encourage you, if you have high cholesterol, that you take just, I maybe it's 20 to 30 minutes of a video. I can't remember, but it is so good because it really breaks down what the old way of seeing cholesterol was and what the new way, enhanced way of looking at cholesterol is. And that's where the life-changing part happened for me. Again, this is not medical advice. And this is simply my anecdotal review and what I personally decided to do, okay? What I learned from Dr. Lustig is that, first, the importance of being in a fasted state when taking your labs. Most people say they have fasted but may have not. And this impacts your numbers tremendously. Lucky for me, I was in a 100% fasted state when I took my labs this year, and so I was happy about that. So I continued on. What really stood out for me was his explanation of why focusing only on LDL can be misleading. And so instead, he talks about looking at the ratio between triglycerides and HDL. So if you look at my triglycerides and my HDL, you will see my ratio. So it's very simple math. You take your triglycerides number and you divide it by your HDL number, and that's your ratio. And the way he described it was that if your ratio is 1.5 and below, that's generally considered very good, like you're good. Um, if it's above 2.5, that's often talked about as a sign that something is wrong. Okay. When I take my triglycerides, let me go back. Okay, my triglycerides is at 114, and I take my HDL, which is 53. I divide it by 53, 114 by 53. That puts me at 2.15. So I'm in the average range. And this is where I made the decision I'm not taking a statin. Put everything together, and this ratio here was the thing that helped me make the decision of I'm not taking a statin. Okay. And for you, it may be something different. The starting point is where you're going to put everything together that you've learned. For me, in the past 48 hours, everything that I learned and I put together, conversation that I had with my doctor, the journals that I've read, the doctors that I've been listening to kind of put everything together. And that's when you start listening to your inner voice. Okay. And for me, my decision was I am not willing to go through those side effects. I'm just not. And being that my ratio with my triglyceride and my HDL, it's average. I think for now I'm going to focus on changing certain aspects of my lifestyle to incorporate more healthier matters. Now, for the most part, Here's what my personal plan is going to look like. So now that I've made the decision, this is what it's going to look like. On nutrition, I'm going to continue to focus on whole foods. Sorry, my dog. I'm going to be cutting back on ultra processed snacks because I noticed that I have snacks that are ultra processed. I cannot be having that. I'm going to have to really focus on having whole food type of snacks that I make myself. Eliminating excess sugar. I'm not a sugar person, but I need to start looking at the sugar. Obviously, my triglycerides is doing its job. So I'm good there, but I will continue to do that. One area that I am just struggling with is water intake. Like I'll have seltzer water, I'll have my protein drinks, but water, I'm supposed to have half of my body weight, in ounces. And I am not consistently doing that. So I'm going to be focusing on doing that on a consistent basis because I got to work on that. That is one of my biggest struggle. Movement, I've been hitting my movement pretty well. I'm very proud of that. So I will stay consistent with that. I will stay consistent on the strength training, which I'm beginning to love, and it's becoming part of my, every week lifestyle. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to keep tracking my visceral fat. My visceral fat used to be at 13. It is now at 11, which I'm very proud of. My goal is to keep going down on the visceral fat. I'm going to keep tracking quarterly my HDL TG ratio that we learned about today, my insulin, my hemoglobin AC1 levels. I'm going to be doing that quarterly so that way I can kind of understand, okay, am I still good with this decision that I've made? Supplements that I currently take and will continue to take is my vitamin D3s, my vitamin K2, my magnesium, and my zinc. That's something that I take every day. I take my vitamin D3, K2, and zinc in the morning, and I take my magnesium around 4 p.m. Closer to bedtime. I do have a new addition that I'm doing that I found out from Dr. Berg, and I will link his video on this specific drink. But apparently this drink helps with clearing the arteries, which obviously is something that I have to be cautious about because of my lipo little a, high lipo little a genetical factor. So this is cacao powder and beet powder in lukewarm water. I'm going to continue to take my medication, the GLP-1 medication, and monitoring my weight as a slow responder. I'm watching how my lifestyle and medication work together over time. If you know me, I have been feeling really, really strong and really good these past I would say these past few 10 weeks. I just feel really, really strong and good. Um, and I will keep updating you all quarterly so you can kind of see, oh, this really worked for this girl, or was she just talking BS? So I will definitely be doing like an update video for those of you who are interested, and we'll go over my new numbers and just gotta put that together. But in closing, I just want to, I hope that this encourages you to advocate for yourself and to have an open, informed conversation with your healthcare provider. If you've gone through something similar or if you have questions, feel free to share in the comments. I'm really interested in knowing, anything that you can help me with to understand as far as, if you've learned something that I don't know, please share with me. I don't take anything personal. I take it as I like to learn from other people. I've had, people make comments about some of my videos that because I'm very passionate about what I'm doing for myself, and I want the best for you, and I hope that's what that's what comes out. And I did make a video on retatrutide and how I feel about Eli Lilly not putting out the muscle loss because that's important for me. And I received some comments that were a little harsh, but at the same time it's like, thank you for sharing, because I don't know everything about retatrutide. All I know is that it's not FDA approved, and people that are taking it, that are saying they are taking it, I don't know where they're getting it from. But it's definitely not the ones that have gone through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But hey, if it's working for you, and there's something that I don't know, I love to know. Because it's important to have like open conversations and be respectful. My intention in making these videos is just for us to have a conversation about being a health advocate, because we for many years have been told this is the way it is, and then all of a sudden there's all these changes and these new development, which everything evolves. And so, but you know what hasn't changed? The fact that all humans, biologically speaking, still have bones, still have muscles, still have to have a head, still have to have a heart. And that has not changed. So, by us being health advocates and asking the right questions, that's why I make these videos. So, if these videos do help you, please let me know. Please comment below, subscribe, and like. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. And love you. God bless. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.